Hey everybody, I'm Harry McCullough, and this is Going Public. We are joined today by the parish president of Terrebonne Parish, Mr. Gordon Dove. So, man, thanks so much for being with us, man.
Thanks for having me.
A lot going on, as always, but you got your budget and everything that's going on, so we got a nice presentation.
Okay, our first page is the 2023 budget, which has been passed, and we are operating on it as we speak. We had, Terrebonne Parish now has a $247.7 million adopted budget for 2023. And a capital outlay, we have $106 million in projects going on right now. And then remember, this is the parish. This is not the levy board. This is strictly the parish. Bond rating, we AA minus, which is the parish has maintained for quite a few years. Our general fund balance, in the past, they've always kept about a $7.5 million general fund balance. We feel more comfortable with a $10.8, $10.5 million. So we keep a higher fund balance than what they have in the past. Sales tax collections in Terrebonne was 10.62% greater in 22 than they were in 21. And Terrebonne Parish, I'm happy to go ahead and announce, and of course, we do it every year. Terrebonne Parish is fiscally strong.
Right.
We have a lot of money in the bank, and we're very strong.
When you started in politics, that budget was almost what the state budget was, right? We've come a long way, haven't we?
Yeah, the state budget is $48 billion,
right.
and this was about $120 million or something.
Yeah. But I think of Buddy Romer back in 1985 and all, and I remember the budgets weren't that much bigger than what
no, back then it was $5 billion or something.
Right.
In the next slide, something we're really working hard on in the eastern Terrebonne. We have that's your worst erosion in Terrebonne Parish is the eastern Terrebonne and western Lafourche. Well, we're trying to do a 34-inch pipeline from the Chafalaya all the way to the east side to Lafourche. And you would actually bore underneath the Houma Navigation Canal, and along the way you would build marshes as you go. And if you look at the next one, it sort of gives you the routes that you would go, and the St. Mary Parish has too much.
Right, they're building land.
They're building land. They need to get rid of their sediments, and we need them. Right. And there's only one way to get into eastern Terrebonne or western Lafourche is that slurry pipeline. I've been working on this for about 12 years. We're trying to get it we have some preliminaries done, but we are trying. That we are going after a $400 million fund right now that we hope to get this moving. But to let the people know, we are working on the eastern side of Terrebonne Parish.
This would be a core thing? This would be a levy thing?
No, this would
what
be
project would that be?
Joint between the state and the Terrebonne Parish.
I got you. No, much needed, and that's new technology,
and this is
right?
preliminary.
Yeah.
We've got the alignments. About $1.4 million was spent. There's a fund out there that we're trying to acquire. We're working on it, but this is the future. So I try to show this. This is not under construction.
Right,
I'm not trying to fool anyone.
Right.
But I wish it was. But we do have a good shot at it.
Right. I got you.
The next one is the power plant. As you know, if you look at the next slide, they were totally destroyed. We have gone into engineering of a new power plant, about $200 million, which will be funded by FEMA if everything goes accordingly. And we're trying to go from an 84 megawatt plant to 100 megawatt for the future.
Right.
And this will be the state of the art. FEMA has allowed us to move forward with the design and the engineering of the power plant. And this will be funded with FEMA funds. There again, when you're talking FEMA, if everything goes accordingly, and it has been going very well.
So we could, as a byproduct of having the hurricane come through here, we may get a brand new state-of-the-art power plant.
With $100 million in a grid system, too, so it's a total of $300 million.
Right.
And the next one, I'd just like to show people, this is where everyone in Louisiana and everyone, if you follow this all the way up through Canada, they get it through MISO, Mid-Continent Independent System Operator. All power plants sell electricity to this, and this is where we all get our power. It's called MISO.
All through the grid.
And I've tried to show people exactly where you don't actually get it directly from Sleek or Entergy or the Houma power plant. You get it from them, and everyone sells to this system.
Right.
And it's a very complicated system. One day we can make a whole show out of it.
But Terrebonne's not making any money off of that, right? Because you just pass it along.
What we do, we have the same markup they had 20 years ago.
Right.
We buy from MISO and like everyone else does.
I said that is the intercontinental grid. So everybody, even like Entergy, you
Everyone
get
buys from that grid system.
So if you create power, you send it to the grid, and then they sell it back to you.
That's
basically,
correct.
Right?
You see, Texas doesn't have that, and if you notice, they still have the separate grid systems,
Right.
and they had a big power failure.
Right. A lot of people freezing last year.
This is a very good system.
Right.
But it's operated by a law, as you can see how many states are involved with
in
it.
Canada and countries.
Yeah, so that's, like I said, that's a whole other story on another day, but on another one, we are building, we are designing and engineering a new power plant for Terrebonne Parish, 15,000 customers.
Right.
When I say Terrebonne Parish, the city of Houma.
Right.
The next one, we also, we went into design with the Planet Design, and we're working with FEMA about a new state-of-the-art courthouse. Some that they don't have to bring prisoners in front of everyone when they're bringing them to the deal, and where the judges will have a private entrance and
For security reasons.
It'll be a Cat 5. Of course, we also looking at a new jail in Shreva somewheres. We're working with FEMA on that. It's about $50 million for a new jail. A courthouse is about $30 billion. Deepening of the H&C. The port has been handling that. We're working along with them. We're trying to get it to 20-foot navigable, which means bigger vessels come in, more jobs. So that's big economic development right there.
Right.
We've been able to get the money from the state, and we're moving first. Also, we had PHI sign a 10-year contract with BP. They moved basically all the helicopters are operating out of Terrebonne Parish now. We rode on the red carpet, and they are operating out.
That's a good get.
So that's big economic development. The next one.
So a lot of guys going offshore will come through Houma and
stay at hotels and
get in their helicopters and go
Another
here.
thing, myself and actually the culverts was Steve Trostaclair's idea. Is years ago they used to not charge you to put in your culverts. You have to buy the culverts, but there's no charge to put up to 100 feet. We put them in at no cost. That way we can control the drainage.
Right.
Why would you want some guy with a little John Deere tractor trying to dig a ditch and drop a culvert in there? It could flood you out.
Exactly.
And this was Steve Trostaclair
That's a great
came
idea.
up with this. So up to 48-inch, we installed at no cost like they did 20 years ago. Permits to remodel, including remodeling, fencing, roofs, roof repairs, swimming pools, driveway, garages, no charge. You still got to get a permit, but we've done away with that. And that's when we took the permitting from South Central Planning.
Yeah, we were talking earlier with Chris Pulaski and talking about the permits. Normally there's about 2,600 permits per year. He said 15,000 after items.
Yes. And remember, we didn't charge for them. There was no charge.
Right.
But it was a lot of permits.
Yeah.
And Chris Pulaski and his guys did a great job. Mm-hmm. The next one is we purchased the land by the Funderburg Avenue Bridge. We're going into replacing that bridge. We're going to build one like at Polk Street. It's going to be a real nice bridge.
That's what I'm.
So we're moving forward on that one. Now we're acquiring land right now.
Broadmoor, yeah.
Right, we keep 3 crews changing concrete panels, striping, asphalt. I've done that from day one. When I took over the parish, they had 1 crew working 2-3 days a week. I got 3 crews, 5 days a week, and we replaced a lot of concrete panels and curbing, and all our major pump stations are telemetry and SCADA. And of course, as you know, the old pump stations had no backup generators. Right. We put 24 backup generators. Remember, to put a backup generator, you just don't put a generator, you got to rewire the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then we have 30 new pump stations we built in 7 years. The last rainstorm, we had no flooding, no reports of flooding. That's amazing.
It's a big time.
Next one, cleaning of Bayou Terrebonne. We finally got the core permit. We had to get a permit. We got $1.6 billion federal money, and you'll see them working out there cleaning out Bayou Terrebonne. That's not dredging, that's cleaning.
Cleaning.
Getting washing machines and God knows what else is in
trees
there.
And that
trees, debris and what have you.
And what are they going to, those weirs, they're going to come out or they stay in? Is that part of this deal, or would that be part of the next part?
No, we're gonna dig the wells out when we dredge.
Right.
Not now.
Okay, but this will set up the dredging.
Right. Land for new community center in Village East. We are lifting the Montague levy. We've been working on that for years. We constantly lifting the Montague levy.
Right.
We still have the Moganza levy, but that's a parish levy. We've been working at one of Steve Trosaclair's projects. Retention pond at Hanson Canal and in Industrial Road, Acadian subdivision. We added pumps there and solved their problem. The next one, I believe Chris talked to y'all already about this. The Rotary Plaza is really coming along.
End of May, he said.
Yeah, I want to thank the Rotary because we put up money and cost the state, Tanner McGee, Jerome Zering, and Brett Lane, and Mike Feesey, and Beryl Amade.
That's going to be such an asset to the community to have that down there.
Oh, that's going to be beautiful. It's and it's really coming along. Le Petit Theater, we finished funding that, and that was the ribbon cutting, and everybody was excited. The next one, we're building a new public works building. Before I got in office, they bought some modular trailers to operate public works when we had all that money from Gustav and Ike, and they rot. So we have to build a new engineering and public works building. And if that looks familiar, that's Mitch Momo's office.
I was about to say, it looks just like Mitch's place.
We like that office so much, we asked Mitch to give us the plans. And
I think that's a great job.
And help us fit it on our property, and so we're building exactly what Mitch Beaumont at Delta built.
I told him the moment he built that, I said it looks so much better than those steel buildings we got all over it. And nothing against steel buildings, but that looks so much better to my eye anyway. All right, we'll take a break. More with the parish president when we come back on this edition of Going Public.
In South Louisiana, storms are a way of life. Every storm poses a different threat, whether from flooding or hurricane-force winds. At All South Consulting Engineers, we help protect our people from these disasters. Before a storm, we work with our leaders to prevent catastrophic damage. After the storm, we help get the resources needed for rebuilding. We have helped our cities, parishes, and school boards recover over $2 billion to rebuild our community. We'll be here for the next one.
A new company with a lot of history. GIS Engineering has rapidly grown its brand around an experienced team of professionals. GIS Engineering is a full-service planning, engineering, procurement, and construction management company specializing in coastal protection and restoration, upstream and downstream industrial, and transportation infrastructure projects. Putting people first, GIS Engineering, a new company with a lot of history.
Structural heart disease refers to a defect in the heart's valves, walls, or chambers that keeps the heart from pumping blood properly. Valve or structural heart problems may be present at birth or develop over time. Your risk increases if you have high blood pressure, plaque buildup, history of heart attack, take certain medications, or have certain heart infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General provides innovative solutions and devices with the latest technology to bring the best possible outcomes for patients. Learn more at cardio.com.
Everybody, welcome back to Going Public. I'm Harry McCullough, joined by the parish president of Terrebonne Parish, Mr. Gordon Duff, for 9 months left, huh?
9 months. And I said 20 years. I was 12 years chairman of natural resources on the House, House of Representatives, and 7.5 years of going on as parish president.
Yeah,
and
well,
I've enjoyed serving the people. And
well, we appreciate a lot of stuff going on, which that's what we're talking about. A lot of different things to help the area here. So we'll continue with some of the pump stations.
Okay, Elliott Jones Pump Station. This is well underway. This is an artist rendition, but if you go to the next one, these are some old slides. We're really a lot further along that. The pumps are installed. In a month and a half, that will be operating. That's just an old slide right there.
In time for hurricane season.
And that's Elliott Jones and Gibson. We already built Hanson Canal. These are $15 million pump stations. Hanson was funded 100% by Terrebonne. We got $10 million from the state, and we put a $5 million on Elliott Jones. And this is just about completed. On the next one is those two pump stations are pumping out 108,000 acres, the Chacahula Basin. But look where you pumping. You pump in South Ellendale, you pumping in Lakes, Manchester, Sugarwood, Bob Black, Chacahoola, Deadwood. A lot of people live in the Chacahoola, Savannah
Yep.
Road. They live in the Chacahoola Basin and don't even realize it.
These were traditionally areas that we didn't have pump stations for, right?
No.
Mostly it's down the bayou, that kind of stuff.
So it all
Yeah.
floods. Remember, it all goes to Bob Black, and we pump out of Bob Black.
Yeah.
But we got $30 million worth of pump stations. The second one is just about completed.
Right.
And the next one, you see signs up on Savannah Road behind Rouse's. You're going to see a pump station going up. Lowland got the bid, and GIS is the engineer. We've been working on this for 6 years, okay? It took us a long time to get a Corps permit. This is some Restore Act money that we were able to get through the BP fines. So it took a long time to go through the U.S. Treasury, but this is under construction, and you'll see signs up. It's $15 million. And basically that's going to catch water and put it in retention and release it accordingly. And I want to thank Shell Oil, who donated 4,139 acres. And this can hold 1.7 billion gallons of water. We get Lafourche's water, we
Right.
get North water. You can't take all the water anymore. So all that does is retain it. When the storm's over with, they have automatic gates that's solar powered, that will lift and drain the water according to the heights in the,
And you can draw it
Whiskey
down.
Bayou and the Bayou Cane. The next one is some more pictures. That's the Bayou Cane pump station. That's got 12.5 million, but that's the project, but with the engineering.
Right.
They hit us for 2.7 million in mitigation on this, the Corps did, that we have to pay for. The next one, that just shows the outline. That goes from 311. That actually goes from Whiskey Bayou off 311 all the way to Rouse's to Bayou Cane, back to 90.
So it's a
off the
big
right.
retention pond, right?
4,000 acres. It's the next one, that kind of gives you a little insight to it. It's got backup generators, electric pump. We building most things with electric pumps now, less maintenance.
Right.
And the next one, Bayou Terrebonne, that lock system was already complete. If you go one more, we're designing along with the levee board a pump station where we are going to put, we already put Bayou Cane, we already put Petite Caillou under forced drainage. Bayou Terrebonne from there to the intercoastal in Houma will be under forced drainage. This is being designed. We have statewide flood money in there, and this probably will go under construction in a year and a half, 2 years, under the next parish
That's
president.
incredible.
And the next one is that's the lock system. You can see where the pump station is going to fit in up on the upper hand, and that's below Montague. Next one, okay, so if you're going to pump Bayou Terrebonne, you got to shut the water off. So that's at the twin span. They have a mitigate. Those right now, we're trying to get funding through the state. That's a mitigate. That's floodgates. That's between the two twin spans by the intercoastal.
That'll be on the north side or the south side?
South side of the intercoastal.
Okay.
Okay, then the next one, then you got to shut Company Canal off. So now you shut Company Canal, you shut the Terrebonne Bayou at the intercoastal so you could pump that system down. And remember, it goes outside the Moganza system.
Right.
So we're not pumping within ourselves. And now this one, we have $6 billion for design in priority 5. We're trying to move to 1. Now, this is the big boy. These are 12-foot diameter pumps, 6,000 CFS. 160 billion gallons per hour. It's a cost of 106. This is a long-term project, but we're starting it.
Right.
And that's at the Bubbledale floodgate.
Right. This is the big one.
Yeah. Well, excuse me. It's not at the Bubbledale floodgate. It's at the Grand Caillou,
Right.
which is right north of the Bubbledale.
Right.
But it pumps the H&C out.
Right.
So the next one is the Grand Caillou. Next is the Petite Caillou. I told you that's on the forced drainage. Now that's pumping the water into Lake Boudreaux. Next one is the Petite Lock system. This is all the Chauvets under pump now.
These are
They don't
done.
have to worry about flooding anymore.
These are real pictures. These aren't
These are
rendered.
finished
Right,
pictures. Yeah. And if you go back one right quick, and you see we had to go over the levee. Yeah, that's a real picture right there.
Yeah.
Very successful, and the Chauvet doesn't have to worry about flooding anymore.
That's right. Which was our weak link, you know?
Next one is the Bubbledale, and then that's what's going to happen to Montague, Berg, and all that area with Bayou Terrebonne. Bubbledale floodgate is existing. The next one, we've already started construction of that. They're going phase 1 or phase A, and it's a $360 million. That's funded, that's designed. We should go to bid on the main thing in about 3 weeks, but it's going to be at a 24-foot depth because we're deepening the H&C. So if you go to the next one, it's 110 foot between the wing walls. One more. Ooh. This is where
it ties all in.
One more. If we could go to the next one, that's where we did some mitigation off of it because we had to dredge it. The next one, this is where the operations facility go. There's the pads already built. There's going to be a building there that's going to operate the lock system. Remember, that's $360 million. We got a total of almost $2 billion in projects done or under construction.
Incredible.
The Brady Road Bridge, anybody who's got Fisherman Retreat, Brady Road Bridge is funded. Mitch Beaumont, Delta, is doing the engineering, and we hope to go to bid this year. I hope to go before...
Construction start this year?
Yes, construction.
Wow.
And it's going to be a little further south than what the old bridge is. The old bridge is about half.
Right, yeah.
And we actually bought a barge with loading ramps in case the bridge gives way, that we can shuttle people on Brady Road and Fisherman's Retreat, because that bridge is bad. The next one, this is the Brady Road Bridge. That's just, we're going as high as we can to get T-tops underneath it without opening.
Right.
But we can only go so high, but
shrimp boats will still need to open up.
Right, but some T-tops will go underneath it. So next one, that's Lashbrook, which is completed, $5 million. This thing should have been done 20 years ago. That's in lower Chauvin. That pump station was, the next one was completely shot. Okay, that's the completed, that's the real picture. It's operated, that's for Chauvin, you know. Next one.
Bayou Black.
This is Bob Black. We got $12 million total federal grant. Took us 6 years to get that money.
Wow.
We got the permit, and we're going to final design, and we hope to go to bid this year or early next year.
That's in Gibson, right?
That's in Gibson. That's going to give us a third pump. 2 pumps are really good, but a third pump, always, you can't have too many pumps.
Exactly.
The next one, I'm going a little fast, I know we run out of time. Bob Black Pump Station, and that's 1,000 CFS. That's going to pump 1 million gallons every 2 minutes.
Wow.
And all 3 of them together will pump 1 million gallons every 30 seconds. That's all 3 pump stations in Gibson.
I got you.
Next one. That's Fargo Canal. We are designing one at that old pump station. If you go to the next one, the one at Fargo Canal, if you go to the next picture, it's about gone. It's ready to fall in. So we are designing it, and it's going to pump outside Morganza, and we do have $8 million to build that, thanks to our state delegation. And if you go to the next one, as you can see, LaCour Pump Station, that's to stop the flooding on Levron and Columbus that always was flooding. This is under engineering. We have the $6 million. We do it core permits, and we do it land rights. That's going to pump from Levron Street all the way to Highway 311 to Little Bob Black.
Wow.
Next one, keep going. Proposed, but that's it. We also put the pump station in Little Bob Black. We're designing that as we speak, but that's under design. That's over by McDonald's right there at Barrel Street.
Right.
Okay, and next one is West Side. We finally fixing all that problem. Hollywood Road, if there's the next one. We got our bids in. The bids came in high. This is all engineered, permitted, and we're about 600 grand short. So, because the bids really came in high, and we're trying to get the money as we speak. So that will
next year.
We should go to construction. The final one is Valhalla Extension from Savannah Road all the way to
Rouse's Road.
Rouse's. If they go to the next one, it's gonna go at Rouse's, which is the college right there.
Right. Out in Fletcher.
Fletcher, yeah. So we're gonna go for Valhalla with the extension all the way. And
that'll be great for hurricane evacuations and all, and getting people to school out there.
But we have the money for the engineering, and one more, the Petite Caillou, and the one in Berg. We are building landings,
Public landings.
and the last one, if you keep going, is the Island Road.
Rock jetting.
Beautiful job. You get a chance, go to Island Road and see it. It's a $5 million project paid for by the people of Terrebonne Parish.
Absolutely. Go catch some
Protect
crabs
the people
down
of
there.
Terrebonne Parish.
Well, Gordon, we sure appreciate the updates. Thanks so much.
Okay, I was just trying to rush it.
No problem. That's Going Public. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.